Disappointment is a powerful emotion that influences us in many ways, including our decisions, actions, and habits. Let's first look at ways this one emotion plays a significant role in our everyday life. There are two main ways disappointment holds us back from achieving our full potential. Before we even experience disappointment, fear of disappointment stops us from acting upon our goals, desires, and dreams. The fear of disappointment is an expectation that you will not get what you want. If you expect disappointment either consciously or subconsciously, chances are you'll act accordingly and decide to do nothing toward achieving what you want, as you view it as unlikely or impossible. In doing so, you create a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing your mindset that it's not achievable. It's a cycle of inactivity which leads to you never unleashing your full potential. Sadly, many people prefer this cycle of inactivity to the alternative of trying and being disappointed. As Jennice Vilhauer, a psychologist and author of Think Forward to Thrive, puts it, disappointment is such a powerful, negative emotion that people would rather sacrifice their hopes, dreams, and desires than feel its sting. Another way disappointment holds us back is through its occurrence. Experiencing disappointment deflates our motivation and can stop us in our tracks. Let's say you finally worked up the courage to face the fear of disappointment head on and take actions towards what you want. When the desired results are underwhelming or fail to occur within some internalized time frame, we experience the sharp sting of disappointment. This often leads us to becoming much more distractible in our efforts or to stop our efforts altogether from fear of feeling the sting of disappointment again. Now that we know the ways disappointment holds us back, what can we do about it? Is it simply too difficult to overcome the power of disappointment, or can we make this inevitable emotion easier to deal with? According to Vilhauer, the answer is to redefine your meaning of disappointment. Vilhauer explains that while not getting what you want never feels good, the intensity to which you feel the emotion of disappointment can be exponentially magnified by your interpretation of it. Here are a few ways to prevent disappointment from paralyzing you. Number 1, don't globalize disappointment. Have you ever worked really hard towards a goal and the end result just fell flat? Did it make you feel like that goal is completely out of reach and unattainable? Globalization is when you adapt the mindset that if you don't get what you want this time, it means you'll never get what you want. If you globalize the disappointment from one situation to your entire life, then that disappointment will cause you a great deal more pain and most definitely prevent any further attempts of achieving the goal. Instead of magnifying your feelings of disappointment by globalizing it, remind yourself that just because it didn't work out for you this time, it doesn't mean it won't in the future. Walt Disney was fired from the Kansas City Star because the editor felt he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. The world would indeed be a very different place if he let that disappointment stop him from doing anything imaginative or creative again. Number 2, don't personalize disappointment. We humans can be really hard on ourselves, and one way we do this is by intensifying the emotion of disappointment by personalizing it. Personalization is when you tell yourself that if you don't get what you want this time, it means you're not good enough or don't deserve it. As Vilhauer explains, when you overly personalize a disappointment, you make it about who you are as a person, and you do not take into account the many situational factors that had nothing to do with you. For example, you may apply for a job, but not get an interview, and you decide you weren't good enough for that type of job, and start applying for less appealing jobs. But what you didn't know was that the company already had an individual in mind for the job, but posted it to comply with the company policy. Denzel Washington once said, "True desire in the heart is proof to you that it is yours. Anything that you want that is good, you can get. So claim it." When facing disappointment, it's important to realize that it is one event, and an event is something we experience. It is not who we are. Number 3, learn from the disappointment. So many successful people have said it, so I'm sure you've heard it before. We'll say it again to be sure. Success is often built on failure. So many successful people only became successful after many failures. One of Oprah Winfrey's first jobs on TV ended when the producer decided she was unfit for television. The Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 major publishers. Successful people are those who learn from every failed attempt they make. Instead of viewing disappointment as an obstacle, view it as a learning opportunity and be thankful for that opportunity to improve. For more information on how to change your thought processes to easily overcome disappointment and make it work for you as opposed to against you, I've attached a link in the description to Jennice Vilhauer's book, Think Forward to Thrive. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a little click of that like button, and if you know anyone who could benefit from it, feel free to share it. I would love to hear some of your experiences of disappointment and how you deal with it in the comments. Wishing you all massive success.